Good morning. Good morning, Bookie Monsters. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. Channel is called Bookie Monsters. My name is PK. It is Tuesday, September the 19th. We are here to look at new releases. We do this every day of the work week, Monday through Friday. And on Tuesdays, we look at romances. So we will be checking out what they are saying is released today or later this week. I appreciate you stopping by. If you like what you're seeing, please hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell. And just some announcements before we jump into this. We will have reading sprints tonight at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern Time. And bring your own book, bring your own project. If you want to meditate, that's fine too. We'll be doing that for 2.5 hours this evening. And I do hope you will stop by. It is a good time. I am hoping to, if all goes well, figure out what audiobook I want to listen to and start working on a crochet project. But we'll see. We'll see how the day goes, and maybe I just want to read. We'll find out. All right, let's first start with, just because it's up first and it's easiest, romances according to bookriot.com. There's only 3. I think they're wrong, but we'll start here. First one here, this is in here alphabetically. It's called Cute. And there is no description, but I know there is a description in others. So hang on, we'll go back to that one. Hang on a second. Dreams and Destiny by Shandaya Menon maybe. Fantasy, romance, young adult. It's senior year, and Daphne Elizabeth D.E. McKinley, the heiress to the McKinley Hotel dynasty, is still licking her wounds after a painful breakup. She's determined to keep her head down and her heart shuddered, even from new student Xander, no matter how dreamy he is. Then Rosetta Academy is swallowed up by a sudden and massive spring storm, and very strange things start happening. The students start to fall into a stupor, then a deep sleep, one by one. Soon D.E. is racing against the clock to find the source of the strange spell and stop it before it claims the entire school. Could Xander's help be the key to solving the mystery? I bet so. The Book Club Hotel by Sarah Morgan. At Vermont's coziest, most popular book lovers' holiday destination, four women reflect on the circumstances and expectations that have led them to this holiday season feeling uncertain about their futures. A sparkling, heartfelt, and witty novel for fans of Jenny Colgan and Mary Kay Andrews. Surrounded by rural Vermont's rugged mountains and meandering rivers stands the Maple Sugar Inn. Originally an 18th century farmhouse, it was rescued from its dilapidated state by Hattie and Brent Coleman, who lovingly converted it into a boutique hotel. When Brent suddenly dies before the inn opened, it was left to Hattie to carry on alone. With log fires, historic charm, and even a library with wall-to-wall books and overstuffed sofas, it's considered the place for a winter getaway, and in the weeks approaching the holidays, the inn is fully booked. Everyone thinks she's living the dream, but unfortunately it was Brent's dream, not hers. On top of being a mother of their lively 4-year-old daughter, Hattie is working 18-hour days to keep the inn going, leaving her stressed, miserable, and lonely. In the new year, she'll be putting the inn on the market and dealing with the guilt of letting Brent down. But in the meantime, she has to make it through the festive season. But when Bella, Claudia, and Ellen, lifelong friends who seem to have it all, check in for the girlfriend's book club holiday, it changes everything. Their deep friendship and a shared love of books has carried them through life's ups and downs, but Alice can see they're packing major emotional baggage. In the span of a week, over the most enchanting time of the year, can these 4 women come together to improve each other's lives and make the start of a whole new chapter? Okay. Well, let us go on to we'll stop by this one because I know that the Clute one was here, one we missed before. By Meryl Wilsner. Grace Henderson has been a star of the U.S. women's national team for 10 years, even though she's only 26. Wow. But when she is sidelined with an injury, a bold new upstart, Phoebe Matthews, takes her spot. 22-year-old Phoebe is everything Grace isn't, a gregarious jokester who plays with a joy that Grace lost somewhere along the way. The last thing Grace expects is to become teammates with benefits with this class clown she sees as her rival. Phoebe Matthews is too focused on her first season as a professional soccer player to think about seducing her longtime idol. But when Grace ends up making the first move, they can't keep their hands off each other. As the World Cup approaches and Grace works her way back from injury, a miscommunication leaves the women with hilariously different perspectives on their relationship. But they're on the same page on the field, realizing they can play together instead of vying for the same position. With every tackle, the tension between them grows, and both players soon have to decide what's more important, being together or making the roster. Every Duke has his day. By Suzanne Enoch. Brain meets beauty in the sparkling fresh take on the classic Bringing Up Baby, if Jane Austen had written it. That's a very, very good movie. I love that movie. Michael Bromley, Duke of Warrington, has a passion, but it's not for chasing ladies or gambling till dawn. No, his is the far more dangerous pursuit of the science of chemistry. He may be a tad eccentric, but he can navigate a society ballroom and manage a polite conversation if he must. He's certainly capable of taking care of his aunt's perfectly behaved poodle, Lancelot, while she's on holiday. Elizabeth Bitsy Dockring, third daughter of a Viscount, is enjoying her second spectacular season in London. She is a diamond of the season and is adored by all, especially by her precious black poodle, Galahad. To everyone else, however, Galahad is a demon dog, so much so that Bitsy's most insistent beau and particular victim of Galahad's bad manners has hired a thief to steal the dog, clearing the way for his suit. But none of them can plan for a chaotic encounter in the park, resulting in lost notes, a soaking in the Serpentine, and an accidental dog swap, and Lancelot being kidnapped instead of Galahad. Determined to locate the dog, Michael isn't thrilled to be saddled with a flighty female insisting on helping, except that Bitsy has a great deal more sense than he expected, and a sharp tongue to match. Still, what's a scientist to do but continue to pursue an outcome, however unexpected it may be? But chemistry is all about attraction, and this is one formula with some hilariously romantic results. I'm sorry, her name is Bitsy. No, even Betsy would be better. That's just me. Names matter. That's just coffee. All right. The unfortunate side effects of Heartbreak and Magic by Brianne Randall. For fans of Practical Magic and Gilmore Girls, etc. Did we already read this one? No? All right. I think a lot of books are trying to associate with those two things. Sadie Revellare has always believed that the curse of 4 heartbreaks that accompanies her magic would be worth the price. But when her grandmother is diagnosed with cancer with only weeks to live and her first heartbreak, Jake McNeely, returns to town after a decade, her carefully structured life begins to unravel. With the news of their grandmother's impending death, Sadie's estranged twin brother Seth returns to town, bringing with him deeply buried family secrets that threaten to tear Sadie's world apart. Their grandmother has been the backbone of the family for generations, and with her death, Sadie isn't sure she'll have the strength to keep the family and her magic together. As feelings for Jake begin to rekindle and her grandmother growing sicker by the day, Sadie faces the last of her heartbreaks, and she has to decide, is love more important than magic? I bet she can have both. You can have everything, girlfriend. A Nobleman's Guide to Seducing a Scoundrel by K.J. Charles, second in the Doomsday Books. Bridgerton goes gothic, it describes. Major Rufus Domesty has unexpectedly become the Earl of Oxney, master of a remote Norman manor on the edge of the infamous Romney Marsh. There he's beset on all sides, his position contested both by his greedy uncle and by Luke Doomsday, son of notorious smuggling clan. The Earl and the smuggler should be natural enemies, but cocksure, enragingly competent Luke is a trained secretary and expert schemer, exactly the sort of man Rufus needs by his side. Before long, Luke becomes an unexpected ally and the lover of Rufus had ever hoped to find. But Luke came to Stone Manor with an ulterior motive when he's desperate to keep hidden even from the lord he can't resist. As the lies accumulate and family secrets threaten to destroy everything they hold dear, master and man find themselves forced to decide whose side they're really on and what they're willing to do for love. Every Wish Way by Shannon Bright. Raised by a mother whose ironclad motto is "Men are trash," Isa longs to prove her wrong, ideally with a kind, steady boyfriend who will free her from the exhausting treadmill that is dating. Although she's willing to try almost anything to find love, accidentally summoning a wish-granting stranger out of thin air was never part of the plan. Unfortunately, Beckett, her personal wish granter, isn't exactly the sage and generous being she would expect. Instead, he loves to party, has attitude to spare, and boasts an uncanny ability to point out Isa's worst flaws. Sounds like Aladdin. Isa decides to use one of her three wishes to create her dream man, a modern Mr. Darcy. If that esteemed gentleman can't impress her overbearing mother, no one can. Using Pride and Prejudice as the handbook to Darcy's heart, Isa plays the part of Elizabeth Bennet and sets out to create her epic love story. Making wishes and winning Darcy over becomes more complicated than Isa expects, especially with Beckett's adoringly dimpled grin and unexpected kindness in the equation. Soon enough, she's glimpsing the truth of the man behind the flippant persona, and each moment in his company makes her question everything she thought she wanted from love. It's by Shannon Bright. And this one, Tempting the Player by Rebecca Genshak. Heart of Campus Wallflowers. He's the last guy I should fall for. Valley U was supposed to be my fresh start after I escaped the glitz and glam of Hollywood. I didn't want to be the former child star who graced TV screens across the world. I wanted to feel normal. When the same hot guy runs past my off-campus house every day, I assume he's another college student. When he protects me from boys who still think of me as the character from their teenage dreams, I think he's being kind. When my past comes back to haunt me, he makes me feel safe. I'm falling hard and fast for a guy I barely know, until I realize my mysterious new crush has a secret. He was hired to be my undercover bodyguard. And one more that this one is saying is out this week, at least on this webpage. Manscape by Vanessa Vale, 5th in series. Don't date your son's ex. Okay, that just doesn't, that's not a good start. Uh, Especially when she's supposedly the town's good girl, but the sweet, shy librarian isn't a good girl at all. She can't be because she wants me, the local lumberjack, and my wood. Oh, God. I'm her ex's dad, but she says she doesn't want guys her age or a relationship. She wants a fling. And since I'm leaving Hunter Valley in a few days, I'll definitely indulge her. We'll have fun while it lasts, and then she'll go back to fooling the town and I'll just go, right? In Hunter Valley, it's always open season on men. Will the biggest one in town be the easiest to catch? That just sounds, ugh. Sorry. I'm sorry, Vanessa Vale. There is an audience for that. It's just not a book for me. Okay. Oh, and I wanted to give you a heads up since we are doing romances. Tomorrow, the 20th, Amazon is having their Stuff Your Kindle Day. Start beginning of Stuff Your Kindle Day, which is mainly the romance books, and either good deals or they're free. Check all prices, it says, before you click. So you can find categories and lists for them at romancebookworms.com/Kindle. And it can tell you about what Stuff Your Kindle Days are about. I'm going to close that down. Since we're looking at romances, let's do this super quick. I've recently been reintroduced, re-falling in love with the Harlequin category type books. And of course, they have dozens of books out each month. They are quick reads. Um, and sometimes you just kind of want them for a palate cleanser. So this is from harlequin.com's website. Now they release the ebooks a month ahead, but I'm just going to be looking at the September ones here. And in the time that we have, we'll look at a couple. This one I actually did get for myself, Home for the Holidays by Jennifer Wilk. It says, options, turning the bitterness of the past into a sweet future. When big city advocate Sarah Abrams returns home for the high holy days, she's got a lot on her mind, especially whether to marry her perfect on paper boyfriend. The last person she wants to encounter is Aaron Isaacson, her first love and the one who broke her heart. After Aaron and Sarah join forces to fight an act of hate, it's clear that their deep connection never abated. It's If only they could forgive one another for the past, in time for a sweet new start. I thought that was an interesting twist. Now, these books that I'm looking at are under the category of special edition books, and you can tell that because of the blue little triangle shape-ish here. Um, and we might start on romance days looking at some of these as we move forward. This one is His Unlikely Homecoming by Carrie Nichols. It's a miniseries called Small Town Sweethearts. Coming home isn't what he expected, but more than he hoped. When Nick Cabot rolls up to Libby Taylor's door to return her escape artist puppy, all Libby sees are the tattoos, motorcycle, and attitude. But Libby's sweet daughter sees through Nick's toughness and declares him her hero. Drawn to Libby, her daughter, and even their pesky pooch, the retired Marine's painful past prevents him from getting close. Libby senses the loving man beneath the tough facade, but wonders whether it's enough to trust him with her heart. For Outback Rancher by Joanna Sims. This is part of the Brands of Montana miniseries. With matters of the heart, geography is the least of their complications. Hawk Bowhill's heart never left his family's cattle ranch in Australia, but when he meets fiery Montana cowgirl Jessie Brand, it's love at first sight, with a baby soon to follow. Jessie's loyalty to her own influential ranching family is challenged as her father conspires to send Hawk packing. But when Hawk must return to the outback, will the price of their happy ever after be too high to pay? Sounds like he's an Australian. And we're going to go, those are from August, so we're going to go back this way. Baking a Fairy Tale by Terry Wilson, second in the Love Unveiled miniseries. She always dreamed of being Cinderella, just not with him. Bridal editor Daphne Ballantyne despises her handsome yet infuriating colleague Jack King. In fact, the workplace feud is legendary. But when a juicy magazine assignment requires going undercover as a blissfully engaged couple, both Daphne and Jack say, "I do." Fake affection soon leads to very real kisses, authentic emotions, and undeniable attraction. But will their high profile marriage charade lead to a new romantic beginning for Vale's most combative employees? A Maverick for Her Mom by Stella Bagwell, part of the Montana Mavericks Lassoing Love book. This is book 3. When you give a cowboy a cupcake, Bronco rancher Dale Dalton may be many things, but committed isn't one of them. He has no business courting beautiful baker Kendra Humphrey because he knows he's not playing for keeps. Add Kendra's 7-year-old daughter Mila in the mix, and it gets even more complicated. Dale fights mightily against being attached, though he's quickly losing that battle. What if he can't be the man that Kendra and Mila deserve? A Charming Doorstep Baby by Heatherly Bell, part of Charming Texas series she writes. A surly cowboy and an abandoned baby. Retired rodeo cowboy Dean Hunter's escape to Charming Texas for some solitude, some surf, and a new start. But his plans are interrupted by the distraction of Maribel del Toro, his stunning and sparring neighbor next door, and the baby he discovers on Maribel's doorstep. Now Dean has to convince skeptical PhD Maribel that they need to give a desperate mom a second chance by temporarily caring for the baby together. And then they go into the October books. But that's that line. We are about to run out of time, I see. Look at that. The bell went. All righty. Again, I very much appreciate you watching. And we do have sprints tonight at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern Time, 5:05 Pacific Time. And I am currently reading. We can stop into there super quick if it will let me as we head out. I am currently reading A Sense of Danger by Jennifer Estep, the section 47 book. It is for my, it's my read right now for Spy vs. Spy September. I'm also reading Engines of Empire by Richard S. Ford. That's a fantasy. And Freedom and Necessity, I'm hoping to do, it's a reread for me. So I'm hoping I can jump into that. But I also need to find an audiobook. I'm hoping. So Freedom and Necessity might fall off. We'll find out. I want to find an audiobook so I can work on some crochet this evening, if I'm good. All righty. Well, I hope you have a really good Tuesday and drink lots of, if not coffee, tea, fluid. Stay hydrated. Enjoy the fall weather. It is beautiful here in Montana. I think we're supposed to be hitting the 80s again today, but it is supposed to cool off towards the end of the week. Fall is here. And hope you're reading good things. Remember, you don't get good person points if you are reading something you're not liking. So it's okay to pause it. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean the author's a bad person. It's just not the right time. It's okay. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom, nom, nom. Thank you so much, and hopefully see you later. God bless.